What's that like? What's going on, people? Hey, it's another edition of the What's That Like podcast. I'm your host, John Knowles, with another exciting edition this week with the folks from Turner Hall. Turner Hall here in Mount Olive, 100-year-old plus organization that does a lot of great things for the community. And I've got Todd Overby, Kara, and Gabe Dexheimer. That's the president, vice president, one of the trustees of the organization. They're going to tell us everything that's going on up there. They've got the Queen of Hearts drawing that's really brought in a lot of crowds on Friday nights now. A big drawing they do. Pot over $24,000, I think, will be coming up this week. Then also at the Mount Olive Homecoming, we're going to have that on June 16th through 18th in Mount Olive. And they'll tell you about the entertainment lineup for that and all the things that's going on, and how Sunday, the carnival is now going to be a little bit different, and how the town really came together to support that day is an awesome story as well. Also on this edition, back by popular demand, it's the RackAlmanac. Yes, Terry Rackley will be back on. It's been about a month or so since we've had Rack on, and a lot of you liked it. I had a lot of folks tell me that was one of their favorite things on the podcast so far, so we got to bring Rack back. And Rack's going to tell us, kind of what's been going on in his world and a couple of new additions. I'll let him tell you a little bit about that. And we'll get the RackAlmanac series fired up again. But before we go here, let me once again thank you for all the ways that you stream or download or listen to the podcast, whether it's on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, SoundCloud, YouTube, all the methods that you can find the What's That Like podcast. We certainly thank you for doing that. Again, as I've said it time and time again now, this podcast is for you. It's absolutely, always will be, 100% free. This isn't a business I'm running. I'm doing it as a community service, so to speak, just trying to bring you the most interesting people, places, events, things, organizations, whatever it might be, to you. So if you've got ideas, shoot me a note. You can find me on Facebook at What's That Like Podcast. Just search for What's That Like Podcast. Or you can send me an email at whatsthatlikepodcast@gmail.com. You can always get a hold of me in those two ways, and we'll see what we can do for you. If you've got something to promote, something coming up, let's talk and see if we can't schedule something and get you on an episode very soon. Anyway, it's time. Let's talk about the folks from Turner Hall with Todd, Kara, and Gabe. They're all working really hard to make sure this organization is going to stay there with us for the next 100 years. It's not easy work, but I'm going to ask them, what's that like? All right, so with me today, I've got Todd Overby, Gabe, and Kara Dexheimer from Turner Hall. How's it going, guys?
Great. How about yourself, John?
It's good. It's glad to have you here. It's summertime. It's hot. It means we're coming up on homecoming. It's the reason you guys are here today. So what is Turner Hall? How long has it been around? What's the history of the place?
Turner Hall's been around over 100 years. A lot of things that people didn't know is the Turner Hall building was actually across from the post office at one time.
Really?
And, the actual building itself was moved to the location where it now sits.
So that empty lot that's across from the Mount Olive post office is where Turner Hall used to be?
Correct.
Okay. And when did that move?
You know, I don't remember what year they said that was, but I was really amazed by that. When they said it moved from that location to where it's at now, I thought they just built a new building, but they actually moved the entire building.
No kidding.
So that itself is amazing, because Turner Hall is a big building.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it sits on a high foundation. They must have built the new foundation over there and rolled that over there and set it right on top, huh?
Correct. And I'm not sure if that's exactly when they put the bowling alleys downstairs, and that's when all that stuff was developed in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how much gymnastics in that came to place at that time or was still going on when they moved the building. But
so let me ask you this. You just mentioned gymnastics were going on. What's the official name of the place?
It's the Mount Olive Gymnastic Society.
Okay. And how did it get the name Turner Hall?
It was from the Germans. They came over and they had a organization called the Verein. And Verein was a gymnastic society. And so when the Germans would come to these communities, they would set up these societies. It was basically youth-oriented to try to get people involved in a situation like that. And it just kind of developed from there.
And what's the purpose of it today? We've got Kara Dexheimer here and Gabe with you, Todd. Kara, what's the purpose of the organization today? What do you guys try to do?
We try to promote the community, get kids involved, adults involved in, we have bowling, volleyball, where actually gymnastics is starting back up.
Okay.
There's going to be some gymnastics going on upstairs. Mm-hmm. And we do the Easter egg hunt, the Halloween for the kids.
Okay. Always big events here in Mount Olive. Everybody waits for the Easter egg hunt. Everybody waits for the Halloween parade. If you're a youth in this town, you've participated in both of those, right?
Right.
Yeah. And the hall itself, you guys have been doing a lot of work in the upstairs part. So, for those folks that haven't been there, there's the upper hall. We'll call it that. And then below, probably the greatest bar there ever lived, next to Cheers. But Cheers was fake, and this one's real. And a lot of the work that's been going on upstairs, you guys have put a lot of work into that. Would you like to talk about that a little bit, Gabe?
Sure. I know over the last probably 5 or 6 years, we've repainted. We've taken the old ceiling down and painted the ceiling. We've also put down a new floor. We play volleyball up there a lot, so the new floor was crucial. The old floor was falling apart.
Yeah.
We've added new lights. We've added new air conditioning. Just a lot of improvements up there.
Yeah, and it's really kind of the place to be. If there's an event that's happening in Mount Olive, usually where there's a gathering of people probably tend to come to you guys and see if you've got availability, right?
Yeah. Sure. And that's what the whole use of that hall is. Turner Hall, we don't generate a lot of income. So what we like to be able to say is we're available for the community. So when the school needs the upstairs for something, or the softball team or something like that, that is something that we can do that's not going to cost us resources that we don't have.
Yeah, and to be clear, Turner Hall is a non-for-profit organization, right?
Absolutely, and I can show you the books to prove it.
Well, and people also use, benefits for families in need.
Yeah.
Deaths in families, cancer, different, we've made our hall available so that people can raise money to help them offset their bills.
Let me ask you this question. It's a private organization?
It's a membership organization, but it's open to the public.
Okay.
The bar, the volleyball, everything else, you do not have to be a member to come down to Turner Hall. And a lot of people believe that you still do, and it's amazing to me. I've been going down there for a lot of years, let's say 35, 40 years with my parents, and now, with all my friends. But people still ask me, I can't go down there. I'm not a member.
Yeah, and you can go down. Member of the public doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
But what if somebody wants to become a member? What's that going to get them, Gabe?
I'll tell you, the membership down there is not expensive at all. It's $15 for an individual person or $25 per married couple. They don't ask much of you. We do like for people to come, members to help volunteer and help us do some of the events that we do. The homecoming, we have some people we asked to help pick up trash, help us tend the bar, just do some light duties around town. We're here for the community, so that's what we're really trying to promote.
Absolutely. So you mentioned the homecoming. That's coming up. We're recording this here in early June. The homecoming, what are the dates of the annual Mount Olive homecoming?
It'll be June 16th through the 18th, so it's Father's Day weekend.
Father's Day weekend. And what's going on at this year's homecoming?
A lot of rain.
Well, that's kind of a tradition, isn't it? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Are we scheduled for some rain that weekend?
No.
No, that's
I'll
good.
be there, so you never know when a storm cloud's going to come over.
I get blamed for most of the rain down there. Every place we go now, when it starts raining, they're like, we shouldn't have invited Todd.
It's Todd's fault. So the homecoming's coming up then. What are the big events you've got going this year?
All right. For Friday night, we've got the carnival rides will be running Friday and Saturday. We have the tickets available pre-sale up at Jumpin' Jimmy's and National Bank, and it's $18 for a book of 24.
Okay.
Then there will be slightly more than that at the homecoming. I don't have that number in front of me, but at the homecoming, they still will be available. I believe they're about $1 a piece rather than 75 cents a piece.
Okay. So it's good to pre-order if you've got kids that want to do a lot of riding.
It's always a good idea to do that. That way, you know your budget going in. The kids are all excited. Hey, you give them this sheet of tickets, and here you go. The lines usually aren't that long, even if you do show up there that day. They've got a good organization that puts this on. It's called Premier Works, and they've been really good. This will be our third or fourth year with those guys, and they've been really good, and we just can't complain about those guys. They've got a really good organization. Their help is good. The owners are really friendly to us, and we have no problems.
Good.
And on Friday from 3 to 5, we do have the what they call the BOGO, which is a buy one, get one free. Now, it's kind of different the way they word it. It's not if one person goes there, they can ride one ride and get the next one free. It means if you bring a buddy, your buddy can ride on your ticket.
So you're getting two for a ticket.
It's yes, two people can ride for that one ticket, but that person or that child cannot ride 2 rides for one ticket.
Gotcha. So what's different on Sunday this year? You mentioned the rides are only Friday and Saturday.
Well, on Sunday this year, we're going to have the inflatables. So we have about 10 inflatables, I believe.
I believe it's 10 or 11, yep.
And people from the town have donated to have these inflatables. So kids can ride them for $5. They get an armband all day long.
Okay.
And that's also where Ethnic Days will be held this year. So all of the community organizations that make their food for Ethnic Days will be selling that at J.C. Neiman Park instead of the city park uptown.
Okay.
So it'll be a family-orientated kind of a Sunday event now.
Yeah, so you've got inflatables there instead of all the actual carnival rides. And just to reiterate, the town really came together and donated for that.
Absolutely.
You were looking for what number and in terms of a donation?
I believe we started out trying to get $2,500, and the town really came through. It just kind of landslid into $4,400. I think ended up donated by about 60-something different people donated to the event this year.
And you're not pocketing the difference. You put it right back into the day.
Just got more rides more inflatables than we originally intended on, and added some other events such as we're having Rusty Pliers. He's a magician / comedian that'll be up there. The kids will love that. We're having a wild bird show. Face painting. I mean, it's going to be a kid's day all day long, starting about 11 o'clock.
So Ethnic Day was mentioned a second ago. You said that's going to be at J.C. Neiman Park, which is where the homecoming normally is, not up at the kind of the town square park. What's Ethnic Day, and what does that mean to the annual homecoming event?
Ethnic Day was started at the Quacentennial. So when that started, and that was 27 years ago now, that everybody thought that was such a great event that we need to carry that on. And the people have really kept that going with all the churches and local charities and anybody else that wants to have a food stand up there. They bring their stuff up there, and it comes from 11 o'clock till usually 3 to 5 o'clock, somewhere around there. They usually run out of food pretty quick, some of those places. So you need to get up there early. But, man, you've got halupki, you've got all kinds of pies and bratwurst and all kinds of different food.
It's really celebrating the ethnicity of the citizens. And all the different organizations and what they bring to it. Always good. Come up, get yourself something to eat. You can bring the kids this year. Obviously, they're going to have things to do. And as Gabe, you mentioned, a lot of entertainment going to be on site that day as well.
For sure. And we're going to have bands every day as well.
Who's the band you got this year?
Well, Friday night, starting out, we've got Antics. They go from 9 p.m. till 1 a.m. That's the band we typically have on Sunday, but we always have such a great time with them. We're having them on Friday this year.
What's the Antics band all about? Tell us about their music.
The Antics band come out of Taylorville. They're a bunch of older guys. I say older guys because I think the only young person they have in there is one of their sons is a drummer.
Right, yeah.
A good group of guys, and they just love to play. You know, they come down here and they do all this stuff. So we've always had them on Sunday. They always get on us. Hey, can we possibly get an earlier day? You know, we want a bigger crowd. They usually just play to us, me, Kara, Gabe, and the Fun Day Sunday group. Everybody knows who that is. But we sit on the bar, and it's like our own private party because we've got the band playing there. But people are missing out. A lot of people really tell me we need to get them earlier. So we're happy to have them on Friday night.
Yeah, great band. I've seen them. Yep. Yeah, they always do a good job. Who do you got Saturday?
Saturday night is we've got after the parade, which is at 6 o'clock. Hunter Sharp will be appearing, and he'll play from 7 to 9. And Hunter Sharp, if nobody's heard him, really needs to come down there and listen to him.
Local guy.
Oh,
he's from Litchfield, right?
Yes, young kid. I believe 16 years old now.
I think he's 17.
And he can play that guitar, and he just plays the whole thing acoustically, and it's amazing.
Country and Western mostly.
Mostly. A little bit of Southern rock.
Yeah. Good, great talent. And who comes after Hunter?
My wife's favorite band, Whiskey Dixon.
Yeah, tell us about them.
They're a band that we actually heard. The first time we heard them, my wife and I went to Cancun. And so when we went, we were going to go see Casey James. Casey James was going to be there. So Casey James was going to be there, but we didn't know that this local band was also going to be traveling with the radio station. It was all built on the radio station out of St. Louis. So we went down there, and Whiskey Dixon opened up for them every night.
Okay.
And they were just awesome. The guys were fun. We were having libations with them occasionally. And we just really got to know them. We're like, hey, we need to get you guys down here for the homecoming. So this will be their third year here also.
And great bands. You could certainly come, no charge to see these guys, right?
No. And then, of course, Sunday night, we're going to have, Sunday we'll have the Dunov Tambourines there.
All right.
And they'll be playing about 1 o'clock, and then the German Waterloo Band will start at 10:30 in the morning.
Okay, yeah, they're always there for the Ethnic Day celebration, right?
The Dunovs always are, but this will be the first time we have the Dunov Tambourines, the German Waterloo Band. So the Dragoviches were nice enough to donate the money so we could get the German Waterloo Band there.
Okay. And you have entertainment on Sunday?
Sunday night, we're having Gaff and Pulley. It's a local band also. We've had them down at Turner Hall a few times, and I know I've seen them at Tilly's and at Staunton at Rooster's Pub. They're a really good show.
Acoustic duo, correct?
Yeah, I think they've actually added a drummer.
Okay.
So last time I saw them, they had a drummer, and they were excellent. They play a lot of the older rock and stuff as well.
Yeah, so always a good time. Come out to the Mont Olive Homecoming, June 16th through the 18th. That's Father's Day weekend. What night do we have the parade?
The parade will be on Saturday. It'll be at 6 o'clock. And everybody will tell you, we get people from all other towns telling us Mont Olive has one of the best parades going. A lot of towns had big parades, but they really gave that up. Mm-hmm. Steve Rodemaker and Carol have done such a great job helping us with this parade. They've had a lot of help in the past. We really appreciate everything those guys do. They bring it. It takes a lot of work.
Sure.
Those guys start in January and to get this parade going. Everybody thinks, well, people just volunteer to come into a parade and play. That parade's very expensive. It's anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 for that parade. So it's not a cheap endeavor, but people really enjoy that parade, and that's what we like to bring the community.
You mentioned Turner Hall's really a sporting organization as well. You've got bowling up there. You've got volleyball. You mentioned gymnastics as well, Kara. You guys, I know all of you participate in the bowling league. What was the name of your bowling team?
The Drunken Subs.
The Drunken Subs, and that compares with your husband Gabe and Todd's bowling team, which were named the what?
Of course, we were the Trophy Husbands.
The Trophy Husbands. And which team won the title this year?
Gabe, I don't remember. Who was it?
It wasn't the Drunken Subs. I believe the Trophy Husbands took first place this year.
I remember that just briefly.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to you guys for winning that. But certainly it's something that goes on for a while. If somebody wanted to get in with the bowling, how does that normally work at Turner Hall?
The bowling league itself, it's a weekday league. So right now we have 6 teams in it. We bowled Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday last year. This next season, I think we might have 9 to 10 teams, so we might be bowling Monday through Friday.
And what makes bowling at Turner Hall unique?
Well, our bowling lanes we have 2 bowling lanes, and we're one of the only bowling alleys that I know anywhere around that still have pin setters. We have manual pin setters. Yeah. We usually hire high school kids to go up and set pins, starting about 13 years old up to about 17 years old.
So there's no machines. It's a couple of guys back there, and girls. And they're setting the pins for you guys.
And it's a good time. People come from all over just to see that, really.
Yeah.
And that bowling equipment's been down there since 1945.
Okay.
I was lucky enough to work alongside Chico Jancic for so many years on that equipment. He'd need help with something. He's back there, and everybody knows Chico's a staple of Turner Hall. Chico always makes a joke. He says when they built the building and opened up the door, he was already inside. Which I don't have a hard time believing. But, he showed me the ropes with all that stuff, and I've tried to keep that stuff maintained. And hopefully I can bring in, Gabe's been helping with that. It seems like it's a really simple piece of equipment, but it's can be complicated from time to time.
Yeah, and volleyball goes on as well?
Yeah, we usually do a women's league and a co-ed volleyball league. I think last year we had about 6 women's team and about 12 co-ed teams.
Okay. And it always brings in a lot of business as well, right?
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, with all those people. And then also for bowling, there's that tournament on the Saturdays too that has 60 teams.
64.
64 teams. That's awesome.
And those teams come from all over. They come from all the way down from Imperial. They come up from north of Springfield, and that's Imperial, Missouri. So, I mean, these people are driving an hour and a half to get here to bowl in this tournament. It's not because it's the most competitive tournament ever. It's because it's just such a historic place to actually go and bowl.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a great place to be. And the volleyball, when does that normally run season-wise?
We usually do like a fall/winter season, so about September through December, and then we start a second season about January through end of April, beginning of May.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about this thing that's been going on up there for about, I don't know, the last 6 months or so. It's called the Queen of Hearts.
That has been a really big, kind of a challenge and exciting challenge for us. I was down there after we got our poker machines. Yes, we have poker machines down at Turner Hall.
Video gaming.
Yes. And Lenny Rakers is our supplier for those. So Lenny was talking to me. He says, hey, you guys really need to get involved with this Queen of Hearts drawing. It's a really good idea. And I'm like, I have no idea. I've never heard what is a Queen of Hearts. So he sat there and explained it to me. And I thought, well, hey, that's something we ought to do. And probably about 3 months later, I'll talk to Gabe about it and everybody else. We really need to start this up. I said, I think this would be a good idea.
So while you're talking about it, he explained it to you. Explain it to everyone on the podcast.
The Queen of Hearts is a weekly raffle that has a possibility of rolling over to 44 or 54 weeks. We have a board that we buy from a bingo company, basically, that has 54 numbers on it that has, they're all covered. It's all laminated. It's almost like a scratcher card to some extent. So when we sell these tickets every week, they're $1 a piece or 6 for $5, and you write your name on the ticket. So when you write your name on the ticket, you also pick a window that's available. So if you get the window, if you ever get drawn on the weekly drawing every Friday night, 9 o'clock, everybody's lined up. We stop selling tickets at 8:30.
Okay.
We spin the wheel. My wife does. We have usually a kid pull out the ticket, and that person gets a chance to open up one of those windows. So when they open up that window, if they open up the Queen of Hearts, they're going to win 70% of the prize pot.
Okay.
And it's only 70% because 10% of that money goes to Turner Hall. 10% of that money goes into the next drawing. And then the other 10% goes to playground equipment for the parks.
Awesome. And do you have to be present to win?
If you're not present, you only win 50% of that money. And that 20% that you didn't get goes into the next raffle.
All right. So you've been doing the Queen of Hearts. When did you start it? Maybe first of the year time frame? Something like that?
I thought it was November 1st.
I believe it was in November.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you started this. It's been then probably 7 months. You're on your second board. The first person that won, I don't know if he wants his name announced, so we won't. But the first person that won, was he present?
No, he was not.
Okay, so he got half. And then the second pool started actually with basically a 30% or a 20% bump to start off, right?
Yeah, so it started about $3,500 instead of the $1,000. So it started faster.
Yeah, and here we are in mid-June. And what's the pot worth today?
This week's estimated pot, I believe, is going to be about $22,000.
$22,000. So if I do the math right, that's a whole lot of money I could win. That's right. So it's a good time. I tell you what has it meant to Turner Hall to have this there every Friday night?
It's definitely made our Friday nights a lot busier.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people come down there that maybe didn't know that what we had down there before, and I think it's really helping pick up business for us.
Yeah, I'd say it has. I mean, it really is something where I know I go up there every Friday night, and if I'm not there by 8 o'clock, I'm parking a block and a half away.
Absolutely.
It's been great for you guys. So a couple of myths I've heard around town, and I want to give you guys the chance to explain from the horse's mouth, what is the deal with these drawings? Myth number one, you're going to cap it. Are you going to cap it, Kara?
No.
It's
going to go until the board goes out. So there's 54 cards, including the 2 jokers, 54 weeks. If it goes 54 weeks, it's 54 weeks. Whatever money that is.
Which actually answers the second myth that you're going to end it this week.
No.
Yeah. So there you have it. Queen of Hearts going until it gets drawn. If you're there, you get 70% of the pot. If you don't, or if you're not in attendance, you get 50%. But the money's helping out Turner Hall. It's helping out the Parks Department. It's starting the next pot over.
And
right?
we do the 50-50. So different organizations come up and do a 50-50 every Friday, too. So the other groups in the town also benefit from this. So it's not only helping Turner Hall, it helps the different school groups like the basketball. We did a benefit for someone that had cancer. There have been several, different groups.
Band's been down there,
Right.
different organizations.
Delta Tau.
Delta Tau. So anyway, every Friday night, 8:30, tickets stop. $5, you get 6 tickets. And then at 9 o'clock, the big drawing happens, correct?
Correct.
All right.
And just remember that Friday of the homecoming, the drawing will be held out at the park.
Okay, good information. You heard it here first from Todd. The night of the homecoming, Friday night, which would be June 17th, the drawing will not be at Turner Hall proper. It will be at the homecoming.
That'll
Absolutely.
be June 16th.
June 16th. My apologies. Okay. One of the things that I think goes on at Turner Hall that probably goes on nowhere else that I've ever heard is this card game named Poli. What's Poli?
Everybody asks, hey, tell me how to play Poli. And everybody's answer that plays Poli is, I can't tell you how to play Poli. You have to play Poli. Mm-hmm. And that is the absolute truth. I played down there for many years, and everybody will tell you I burned through 3 partners. But I am the reigning world Poli champion with Matt Scheller.
The World Championship of
World
Poli
champion right
takes
here.
place at Turner Hall.
That actually takes place at the homecoming.
Mm-hmm.
The homecoming that's a Saturday-Sunday event, and that's the World Championships. But Poli is it's a game that come over from the old country. Everybody, I'll probably get in trouble if I say it was Croatian or Slovak, being from Manala, but I believe it was Croatian. This game is played with 22 cards in your hand. So every person gets 5 cards. And when you're just watching it, you're like, okay, they played 2 cards, and all of a sudden everybody's throwing their cards in. What's going on? But you've got the older generation, you've got the younger generation, and it's a trick-based game, but it's just only played in Turner Hall. If you can go on Google, which will find anything, and you type in Poli, you will not find any reference other than Mount Olive, Illinois.
Any other events that you can promote?
The big thing that starts up every year is the bowling tournament with the 64 teams. And, if people want to come in and bowl, don't worry about that. It's going to be some big, competition that you're going to be afraid to be a participant in. Come down there and just enjoy bowling. That's what most of the people down for. They know that they're not going to win this tournament. They just want to come down there and have a really good time.
And it is.
It is. It's $20 a person, $100 for the team. And you keep it going, and you can have a really good time with it.
Well, you generally do, at least one trivia night in the winter, right, Todd?
We do. We do a Christmas trivia. I've been doing that Christmas trivia for at least 8 years.
Yeah.
And it's a really good time. We try to make it, Christmas based. With just Christmas movies and Christmas songs like that, you run out of stuff. So. Kara's helped me come up with a lot of really good categories.
Right.
Because a lot of times it's tough. You want to change things up. You can't just use all Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
But it's Christmas based, and I think everybody has a good time.
It's always a fun time. It really is.
And also that day of the Christmas trivia, if you're a member of Turner Hall, you can come down early and you can eat our free food. We have a free Christmas
That's
party,
right.
And then all the kids get gifts from Santa, and when Santa comes down.
Another perk of being a member of Turner Hall.
So if you're a member, you can enjoy that also.
Okay. On Labor Day weekend, I believe it is, you guys are sponsoring another event at the J.C. Neiman Park, right? What's that all about?
Oh, that event is going to be called Turner Fest on Saturday, September 9th. 2 of our newer members, Randy and Crystal Bursch, have decided that they wanted to put something together. They wanted to bring a little festival to Mount Olive, so we're doing a music fest. It starts at 11 a.m. It goes through midnight. There will be food trucks. They've got some food trucks coming down from St. Louis.
Awesome.
3 or 4 different ones with different things available on each one. Mm-hmm. We'll be selling beer up there for sure. Our headliner is going to be Steve Ewing from The Urge.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, he's really good.
St. Louis legendary band, The Urge. What kind of music is it generally going to be for those folks that maybe like music festivals?
It's more your alternative music.
Okay.
It's maybe not something that I would listen to all the time, but, you go up to a concert like that, it's like going up to Tilly's, which is a great place for that kind of music now. you go up there and it's like, man, this is not the music I thought I liked, but man, I do like this band.
So Orange Punch Warfare's there, I know.
Correct.
They're from this area as well. A number of different lineups. We'll make sure we get all that listed in the show notes, and we'll actually Randy and Rob Hoffman, they're going to be guests on the podcast at some point.
Oh, great.
Yeah, we'll talk to them all about and get the details on Turner Fest. So, one of the things, guys, I like to do on all my podcasts is I do this little 5 questions game, but usually I only have one guest. So now I've got 3 of you. I get to get one answer from each of you on all of these. You guys ready for this?
You should ask the question of me about her and her about him and him about me. See, that would be good.
Okay, that's not bad. Let's try that. So
I'm answering about Todd?
This is a little bit of newlywed game here. So then, Kara, what was Gabe's first job?
Pizza man.
Pizza man. She got it right.
I think you hit that one on
Where
the
did
head.
Where did you work?
Well, actually, before that, I worked at Turner Hall setting pins.
Okay.
But I worked at Pizza Man in Litchfield. I baked pizzas. I delivered pizzas. I did a little bit of everything for them.
That's awesome. All right, Gabe. What CD do you think is in Todd's car right now?
Todd listens to some really weird stuff, man. I don't really know if I would know. There's some off the wall stuff. He listens to books on tape. Is probably what's in his CD player.
What are you listening to, Todd?
Probably if I've got something in my car, it's going to be Styx or the Outfield.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Good. I was going to go with Journey.
Journey, not a bad choice as well. So, all right. So, Todd, now you get to play this game with Kara. What do you think the most embarrassing app she has on her phone would be?
Oh, what's that stupid war game you guys are always playing? Clash of Clans.
You like Clash of Clans?
Yes.
You want to give a shout out to all your clan mates? Is there a certain clan you're in?
I forget our clan name. I haven't done it in a while. Gabe's our leader.
The clan's called
Winter Wolves.
Winter Wolves. Yeah.
The clan has fallen.
Yeah,
Gabe took it over from
everybody
some
bailed
kid from overseas. I don't know.
Everybody bailed and went to Doug Becker's clan.
Now, this question, this next question, I want to ask. You each get your own answer.
All right.
We're done playing the game. Kara, what TV show would Kara Dexheimer be a character on?
Friends.
Friends. Okay, why?
Because I'm friendly.
Because you're friendly. Good answer, Gabe.
I thought she was going to say the OC. She's always watching this show, reruns, everything. It's kind of embarrassing, really. Yeah. I think it's because there's a lot of singing on the show, and she really loves to sing on live. She loves doing live singing. It's crazy.
Okay. What show would you want to be on, Gabe?
I think Walking Dead. I think I'd like to live through that, really. It sounds like a challenge to me.
Yeah?
He'd be a zombie.
I would be in every episode.
What about you, Todd?
I think it'd probably be Last Man Standing, and I would make Mike Baxter look like a liberal.
All right. Gabe, what was your favorite Christmas gift you ever got was?
Oh, boy. I don't even know. I know one of Kara's favorite Christmas gifts has had to be the remote car starter or the TiVo. She loves the TiVo.
Would that be accurate, Kara?
Yes.
The TiVo?
Yes.
Todd, what would your favorite Christmas gift you ever got be?
I know it's cliche, but there was no gift that I wanted more and got was that BB gun.
A BB gun?
Yes, I can remember it was that 880
shoot
BB
your eye
gun.
out,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But and you just can't beat a BB gun.
All right, one final question for you all. Why go to Turner Hall?
Because it's fun and it's the place to be.
It's a taste of Mount Olive. There's all kinds of people, different classes that hang out up there. You're part of the crowd there. I mean, nobody leaves you out. You can walk in there and feel like you've been in there your whole life. You're welcome there.
Yeah, Todd.
Most of the people that at least the core people that I still recognize down there have been coming down there since I was 5 years old. I went down there with my parents and everybody else. And, we slept in chairs put together. We slept in the benches by the bowling alley when the parents were still there. That history is still there. So I think that carries on. And I think a lot of people, when they come down there, it's just not like a bar where everybody just comes to drink. Those are friends. And I've had people come up and they say, this is the huggingest bar I've ever seen in my life. and it is. But, hey, it's a friendly bar. You're not going to find a more friendly bar.
I couldn't disagree with anything all of you said. I love that place. I that Toby Keith song. I love this bar.
I was just going to say
that's the theme song of that place. I mean, you got winners, losers, chain smokers, and boozers, and high techs and rednecks, and you got them all. And it's really just I I love that place. I just love hanging out down there. The beer's cold. The beer's good. You're not going to spend yourself out of your wallet to have a good time, and you're going to see a lot of friendly folks.
No, you get a pitcher of beer for $6. You just can't beat that.
There might be a card game or a board game or Poli tournament or something going on. It's always fun to be down there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, all right. Nothing else more that I could ask you that probably hasn't already been said. I truly want to thank you all for coming over here. Kara, Gabe, Todd, thanks a lot for spending some time with me here on the What's That Like podcast. And we hope to see you all out at the homecoming. That's June 16th through the 18th. And if not, come down to Turner Hall. Have a good time. Join the Queen of Hearts drawing. And
get a hug.
Get a hug. Can't end it any better than that. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Thank you, John.
So, hey, Rackley, we're back here on the RackAlmanac. What's going on, man? How you been?
Oh, been all right.
Been good. So tell me, you've had a couple of new additions to the family this month, right? In the last 30 days or so.
2 grandsons.
What are their names?
Preston and Silas.
So that makes how many?
8.
8 total, and 4 boys and 4 girls.
4 girls and 8 is enough, right?
Is it?
Well, yeah. I mean, ain't there a program called 8 is enough?
Well, there was, but is that enough for your family?
Yes.
Do you have anything to say about it?
Can you imagine how much Christmas is going to cost?
Yeah, I can. I got a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
What's going on over there in the land of Rack? The greenhouse is done. The garden is in. You went down about 3 weeks ago to a festival.
In May. It was in May.
And where was it?
Mansfield, Missouri.
And tell me about that thing.
Well, it was the Baker Creek Spring Growing Festival.
And what did you learn there? What were some good tidbits?
Oh, different things about, GMOs, plants, different ways to propagate plants, like if you want to, which you don't know this, but your little maple tree, your Japanese maple.
Yeah.
I got one over there in the greenhouse right now. I went and took a clipping off of it to try it out, see if I can get one growing.
Well, that's awesome.
Well, yeah,
that's a nice tree. I like that tree.
They're expensive too.
Yeah. Well, there you go. You could extend that line. Now, I think you tell me the story. You took some of that garlic that everybody asked me about on the last podcast you were on, and you kind of spread it around a little further. Is that right?
Well, I got it spread out there. I mean, my son-in-law's got it, and a couple of people here in town, and there's up in Litchfield, there's a few people that's growing it. We're thinking about, and I talked to your in-laws about this next year when we go back to that festival, because I'll tell you what, anybody out there that likes gardening, that's the place to go.
Uh-huh.
It's sort of different in they have it on Sunday and Monday instead of the normal Saturdays and Sundays,
right?
Because of the type of religion they are, they actually do their worshiping on a Saturday.
Is that right?
Versus a Sunday.
Okay, so they have their festival set Sundays and Mondays.
Yes.
And you stayed in that town or somewhere close to it?
We stayed in Mount Pleasant was the name of the town. It was about like 12 miles from Mansfield.
What else is Mansfield famous for?
Well, Laura Ingalls.
Okay.
You know who Laura Ingalls is, don't you?
Laura Ingalls was
Little House on the Prairie.
The inspiration for Little House on the Prairie, right? Did you go to her place?
No. And, we was wanting to, but we took the dog this year. And
yeah.
No pets allowed, and we didn't want to leave him in the car. So next year, he's not going with us. Susie wants to go and take a tour of that place.
That'd be awesome. So what's going on in the old garden? You got stuff coming out of the greenhouse, and it's now in the garden. How's the garden growing?
It's doing good. Well, matter of fact, as you know, I was over there weeding whenever you got me to come over here.
That's right. Well, we had to get you back by popular demand, Rack.
Yeah, I bet.
I swear to God. I mean, listeners out there, if you're listening, leave comments on the page. I get so many people asking me, when's the RackAlmanac coming back? So you're the first repeat guest.
Well, ain't that cool?
You're a regular segment here on the What's That Like podcast.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to tell the listeners out there as they approach the warmer summer season?
Well, I'm going to tell you, you water. Make sure you water. You don't water too much, but there's a fine line in watering too much and not watering enough. And don't water on top of your plants.
Okay.
People make the mistake, especially with tomatoes. They like to use the sprinkling can or the water hose or the sprinkler, and they spray the leaves and everything else.
Yeah.
That's a good way to get disease started.
Okay.
So you want to water down around the base of the plant for the roots, because actually that's the only place that needs the water anyway, is the roots. That's what's causing that plant to grow.
Certain time of day better than others?
Morning or evening.
Okay.
Preferably morning.
Not during the heat of the day.
No, because you don't want to burn nothing up.
I gotcha. Well, all right. There you have it, fans. The RackAlmanac was back, and we'll get him back here maybe in another month to check in July. Terry, see you later, buddy. Thanks a lot.
See ya.
Wow, great episode, wasn't it? Yeah, the folks from Turner Hall, Todd, Kara, Gabe, can't thank you enough for coming by, telling us all about that. Things I didn't know, never knew Turner Hall had been moved to its current location. Didn't know that the World Championships were held right here in Mount Olive. That's pretty awesome. And didn't know how many teams were in that bowling tournament. But all great things. If you want to ever come to Turner Hall, it's right here in Mount Olive. Get on Google Maps, punch it in. Greatest bar in the world, in my opinion. And as Todd said, it's probably the huggingest bar I've ever been to. It's friendly. It's family oriented. You can come down there. You're not going to spend yourself crazy, just having a good time. And it's just a great place to be. It really is truly one of the special places that I like to visit on almost a weekly basis. Just to see some friends and have some good times and talk about some things. So I want to thank those guys for coming on. Also, Rackley was back. That was awesome. We're going to have more of the RackAlmanac as the summer goes along. Always a great guest. So he's certainly going to be a regular here on the What's That Like podcast. And finally, Todd was talking about the great folks that run the carnival here in Mount Olive. And I thought, you know what? We're talking about carnivals. We're talking about homecomings. It'd be great to get a carnies perspective as well. So the only carny I really know is a friend of mine named Greg Shively. I'm going to go ahead and try to get him on the phone here. Greg actually put himself through college working the carny circuit. I think he was on the Tilt-A-Whirl, and he did something with the haunted house, and then he finished up where he was using that little ring toss on the bottle game. So, Greg, how we doing?
Time to wrap it up.
What?
Out of time this week.
Bob says we're out of time, Greg. Sorry, man.
Again? You son of a...
All right, so next time, we'll get you on here. But for the rest of you, we'll see you the next time on the What's That Like podcast. Peace out! What's That Like is available in the iTunes and Google Play stores. Search for What's That Like. Subscribe today and never miss an episode. Streaming is available at SoundCloud.com and on the SoundCloud app. Follow What's That Like at Facebook.com/What's That Like podcast and on Twitter at What's That Like Pod. All opinions of the guests of the What's That Like podcast are their own, not necessarily the views of the host or the podcast producers. We hope you enjoy this podcast serving Central Illinois and beyond. Peace out!